Hello, class. I'd like to go over our next project, which is the quote poster. I want to give you an idea of how much work I'm expecting you to do, and give you some examples of what previous students have done. So I am going to share my screen and we're going to look through the assignment on Moodle together. Okay, so we're going to do the first round, and then, which won't be due, you'll see the date in your homework, and then we'll do another round of it for the following week after it's due the first time, because it takes a little bit of work to kind of work out the kinks once we do the first design. So I'm going to give you a list of quotes and their authors, which you'll find below. And in order to, as it says here, in order to communicate well, you must understand the quote. So I want you to research who the author is, what time period they're from, 18th, 19th, 20th century, and what the quote means to them and the audience, and also what the quote means to you. So if you select one of these quotes, obviously you're going to have some connection to it. And that's really an important part of the design process. I want you to really absorb the meaning of the quote, and find images or create images that relate and complement the words. So those words and the image should work together to jointly convey the meaning of the communication of the idea of the quote. So you're going to choose typefaces or a typeface that's going to really make the words legible, easy to read, and convey the message in the best possible way. Think about the meaning, the meaning behind things. You're going to, use all the elements of design, color, repetition, scale, positive and negative space relationships, rhythm. And you're going to submit your round one of your design. Here are the specifics of how I want you to format the poster. Okay, here are some of the quotes. You have Einstein, Groucho Marx, a few from him, Martin Luther King, Mark Twain, Dalai Lama, etc., etc. So you can go through these quotes and decide which one speaks to you, and then you can research the author and the quote a little bit to really understand it and think about what it means to you. So here in the assignment section, you're going to have examples of previous student work. Okay, so let's look at the first one here. This is a quote by Martin Luther King, which I think the student did a fabulous job of. The eye becomes kind of a graphic, right? Kind of a geometric element, which is holding everything together here with the profile of Martin Luther King. And then you have his name vertically. And use of color, use of font, different weights, and think about hierarchy when you do these things. So what do you see first when you look at this poster, right? So the biggest element is the eye, but I think you read love and hate probably first, right? And then you look at the eye and Martin Luther King's profile, and those two things kind of really feel like they're together, right? That contradiction of love and hate together. So it's a fabulous quote, nicely done design. So here is Jack Kerouac quote, and the student chose a font that is already kind of broken up, kind of created into slices, which works really well for talking about confusion. I had nothing to offer anybody except my own confusion. So they decided to really focus on the word confusion because that's the key element in that quote. And they're giving the viewer some sense of confusion by choosing kind of a chaotic background. And then using a question mark as the eye was really brilliant because, you're putting a question in, which means you're confused, and using that as the eye and reversing the color as well. And then breaking up the word confusion also makes it a little bit more difficult to read. So great design choices there. This one is a quote by Mark Twain. Again, think of hierarchy. To succeed in life, you need ignorance and confidence, right? So There's a lot of repetition here, use of font, simplification of colors. Again, think of the time period of Mark Twain, what he was about. And you'll see that this poster works really well. You've got the big 2 in the background as a graphic element, really nicely done. So again, research these authors, pick something that speaks to you, and understand the author, understand the quote, really absorb it into your thoughts. And I'm looking forward to seeing all your designs. Send me an email with questions, and I will be looking for those designs. Have a great week.